4 easy payments, no interest, no credit check, approved in seconds. It's at the grocery store checkout, it's on the Coachella ticket page, it's embedded in your DoorDash order, it's woven into Apple Pay. It lives inside every shopping cart on every website you've ever visited. It's called Buy Now, Pay Later.
Nearly 87 million U.S. consumers used a Buy Now, Pay Later financing plan last year. That's up about 7% from 2023, according to a recent report from Capital One Shopping.
And it is the most sophisticated debt delivery system ever designed, not because it charges you 28% interest like a credit card, not because it buries you in fine print like a mortgage, but because it's built to make debt feel like it isn't debt at all. 4 small payments, no big deal, except that for tens of millions of people, those 4 small payments are multiplying across 5, 10, 15 different purchases, and nobody's keeping track. Not you, not your bank. And definitely not the companies selling it to you.
Klarna, with 26 million users in the U.S., and partnerships this year with retailers like Walmart and with DoorDash. That move, lighting up the internet.
We cannot start going into debt over a burrito.
What if I told you that the fastest growing financial product in the world is built on the same psychological trick as a casino, that it's specifically designed to make you spend 20% more than you would have otherwise, and that the debt it creates is literally invisible to the rest of the financial system? Right now, Buy Now, Pay Later is a $560 billion global industry. Companies like Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay issued over 277 million loans in a single year. Klarna just went public on the New York Stock Exchange. Affirm is integrated into Amazon, Shopify, and Apple Pay. This isn't a startup trend anymore. This is embedded financial infrastructure. And the craziest part? Most BNPL loans aren't reported to credit bureaus. Your bank can't see them. Your mortgage lender can't see them. If you have 12 active BNPL loans across 4 different platforms right now, as far as the financial system is concerned, that debt doesn't exist. Regulators call it phantom debt, and it's growing faster than anyone can measure. Today, we're pulling apart the Buy Now, Pay Later machine, how it hijacks your brain, who it's really designed for, why the people comparing it to the 2008 mortgage crisis aren't exaggerating, and what happens when an entire generation builds its financial life on a foundation that nobody can see.
Yeah, we're talking about installment lending. Companies like Affirm, Afterpay, Klarna. The pitch used to be 4 interest-free payments over 6 weeks. It's evolved a lot in recent years. A lot of these plans are now lasting longer, maybe 6 months or a year or even a few years. What I find a bit ironic is that for an industry that's portrayed itself as the anti-credit card or the kinder, gentler financing method, a lot of those longer plans do charge interest. Maybe it's 15%, 20%, sometimes it's even over 30%.
Here's the thing, Buy Now, Pay Later isn't actually new. Your grandparents had a version of it called layaway. You'd go to Sears, pick a coat you couldn't afford, and the store held it while you made payments. When you finished paying, you got the coat. The key difference? With layaway, you didn't get the product until you'd paid. The pain of waiting was built in. Buy Now, Pay Later flipped that completely. You get the product now, the payments come later, and that changes everything about how your brain processes the purchase. Klarna was founded in Stockholm in 2005. Affirm launched in 2012 by a PayPal co-founder. Afterpay came out of Australia in 2014. By the late 2010s, they'd raised billions on a simple pitch. We make people buy more by making the price feel smaller. When COVID hit, BNPL exploded. Loan volumes grew over 300% between 2019 and 2021. Suddenly, people were using it for groceries, takeout, Uber rides. 60% of Coachella tickets in 2025 were purchased through BNPL. People are financing music festivals. These companies position themselves as the anti-credit card. No interest, no complicated applications. Gen Z loved it. 51% say credit cards give them the ick. So they turned to Klarna and Afterpay instead, not realizing they were trading one form of debt for another. One that's less regulated, less visible, and far easier to stack. There's a concept in behavioral economics called the pain of paying. It was studied by researchers at MIT and Carnegie Mellon. When you hand over cash or see the full price of something, a part of your brain called the insula activates. It's the same region that processes physical pain. Spending money literally hurts. But BNPL is designed to disable that pain signal. When you see 200 on a checkout page, your insula fires. When you see 4 payments of $50, it doesn't. or at least not as much. The total cost hasn't changed, but your brain treats it differently. Research shows that shoppers spend about 20% more when BNPL is offered at checkout. And the platforms know this. That's their entire pitch to retailers.
The problem is now buy now, pay later is available for almost any type of purchase. I mean, fast food restaurants, you can often, pay in for your meal. People are using buy now, pay later for just basic necessities like gas and groceries. With a lot of people, they take out several, sometimes dozens of these buy now, pay later offers. They're paying through automatic debits from their checking accounts.
That's called debt stacking, and it can add up to trouble fast.
They lose track of how many they have or what payments are left, and then they get overdrawn. And so they're not only hit with late penalties from the buy now, pay later financing companies, but their bank charges them for overdraws also.
Klarna tells merchants that integrating BNPL can boost conversion rates by up to 30%. Affirm says the same. They're not selling financial freedom to consumers. They're selling higher sales volumes to stores. You are not the customer. You are the product. But it goes deeper. BNPL creates what psychologists call a dissociation between consumption and payment. You get the shoes today. The joy is immediate. The payments happen later, spread out, automatic. Sometimes you forget they're even happening. By the time the fourth payment hits, the dopamine is long gone. You're left paying for an experience you've already forgotten. And unlike a credit card statement that shows you everything in one brutal total at the end of the month, BNPL scatters your debt across 4, 5, 6 different apps. There's no single dashboard, no total. Just small amounts trickling out of your account. It's death by 1,000 micropayments, and you barely notice until your bank account is empty and you can't figure out why. This is where it gets genuinely dangerous. Not just for you, but for the entire financial system.
A third of BNPL users reported falling behind on at least one payment, according to Credit Karma. Of those, 72% reported a hit to their credit score for doing so. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau warns that some buy now, pay later brands could charge hefty fees for late payments. They could even hand your debt to collectors.
Most BNPL loans are not reported to credit bureaus. If you have active loans with Klarna, Afterpay, PayPal, and Sezzle simultaneously, no single lender can see the full picture. The CFPB calls this phantom debt, debt that exists but is invisible. Nigel Morris, who helped build Capital One's subprime lending business, put it bluntly: if a BNPL provider isn't checking bureau data and isn't feeding it, they're oblivious to the fact that a consumer might have taken out 10 of these things in 1 week. The CFPB found that 63% of BNPL borrowers had multiple simultaneous loans during the year, and a third used multiple platforms. Young consumers aged 18 to 24 are almost twice as likely to use BNPL. For those borrowers, BNPL makes up 17% of their total debt, not the 1% average the industry quotes. 4 in 10 users made at least one late payment this past year. Only 47% plan their payments ahead of time, and 53% admit they've used BNPL to buy something they knew was outside their budget. More than half the people using this product are using it to buy things they can't afford. That's not a financial. If this is starting to sound familiar, it should. The BNPL debt is being packaged and sold to investors, just like mortgages were in 2007. KKR bought up to $44 billion in BNPL debt from PayPal. Elliott Advisors purchased Klarna's $39 billion British loan portfolio. Affirm has issued around $12 billion in asset-backed securities. Slice up consumer debt, package it into financial instruments, sell it to investors who think they understand the risk. Sound familiar? That's the subprime mortgage playbook, except this time the underlying debt isn't even visible in the credit system. A TechCrunch investigation laid it out plainly. We're watching 2 potential bubbles right now, and only one is getting the attention it deserves. The BNPL bubble is growing in the dark, and here's the final twist. The Biden administration tried to do something about it. In 2024, the CFPB issued a rule classifying BNPL loans under the same consumer protections as credit cards, requiring clearer disclosures, refund rights, and guardrails on fees. But enforcement has been effectively paused. The rule exists on paper, but in practice, BNPL companies are operating with almost no oversight. Meanwhile, Klarna went public in 2025 at a nearly $20 billion valuation. Affirm is expanding into debit cards, letting people finance purchases at physical stores. Both are embedded in Apple Pay and Google Pay. The infrastructure is becoming invisible. Debt is being woven into the fabric of everyday transactions, and the guardrails that are supposed to protect consumers are sitting in a filing cabinet collecting dust. So why do smart people fall for this? Why do even financially literate consumers use BNPL to buy things they know they can't afford? The answer is a cognitive bias called temporal discounting. Your brain systematically undervalues things that happen in the future compared to things that happen right now. $1 today feels more valuable than $1 next month. Joy now feels more real than pain later. BNPL is a machine built on this bias. It takes the pleasure of getting something and puts it in the present. It takes the pain of paying for it and scatters it into the future.
Groceries are expensive, but I got all of this today for $55.
These days, more and more people are buying it now.
It's not just for buying clothes.
And paying for it later. Call it modern-day layaway.
Your rational brain knows the total is the same, but your emotional brain, the one that actually makes most purchasing decisions, sees 4 small numbers instead of one big one. And here's what makes it a trap rather than a tool: the stacking. Each individual BNPL loan feels manageable. $25 here, $50 there. But when you have 6, 8, 10 of them running simultaneously across different apps, and remember 63% of users do this, you've built a web of microdebts that adds up to real financial pressure. A Babson College student summed it up perfectly. You might think you have more money in your account, but suddenly you've stacked up 20 payments and created a subscription for yourself. That's the trap. BNPL doesn't feel like debt. It feels like budgeting. It feels responsible. It feels modern. And that illusion of control is exactly what makes it so dangerous. But here's the good news. Unlike a mortgage or student loans, BNPL debt is small and short-term, which means it's fixable if you see it clearly. First, count. Open every BNPL app you use and write down every active payment. Total it up. For most people, seeing the actual number for the first time is a wake-up call. Second, stop stacking. Finish your current BNPL loans before taking new ones. 1 loan is manageable. 8 is a crisis. Third, reintroduce friction. Use cash or a debit card for discretionary purchases. When you physically hand over money, you spend less. BNPL removed that friction on purpose. And fourth, understand the business model. Every time checkout offers 4 easy payments, the retailer is paying Klarna up to 8% because it makes you spend more. That convenience isn't a gift, it's a conversion tool. Buy now, pay later isn't evil. Used occasionally for something planned with the money set aside, it's fine. But that's not how most people use it. Most people use it because they can't afford what they're buying. And the system is designed to make that feel okay. The next time that button pops up, Pay in 4 here, ask yourself, if I can't afford this right now, can I actually afford it in 4 payments? If the answer is no, you're not buying a product. You're buying debt. And it's the kind nobody, not your bank, not your credit score, not even you, is keeping track of. Now you know. If you know someone who's stacking BNPL payments without realizing it, send them this video. Hit subscribe for more breakdowns like this. I'll see you in the next one.